So then, hello everybody, this is Team Torchwood, and I'm back with another video. This is my top 10 favourite Doctor Who classic episodes. It's my personal opinion, and yeah, let's just get on with it. So, at number 10 we have Tomb of the Cybermen, signed by Deborah Watling, because she was a very nice person to meet. She was very awesome, had a nice chat about this episode and a few others, Enemy of the World. And yeah, it's a good story. I'm a big fan of Troughton series with the Cybermen. I'm a big fan of that sort of. It's just a good story. Then we have the ninth spot. We have Survival. A good end to the classic series, as it already says on the sticker there. I like it. It's like a good finale to the whole thing. You know, it's good. I mean, there are some better stories out there. There are definitely some better Sylvester McCoy stories that could have been the finale. I don't know, like Curse of Fenric, or I don't know. But yeah, it's still a good story. It's enjoyable. I can watch this one. It's really good. Next, we have Resurrection of the Daleks. This one is not as well taken to be a good Dalek story from the fans, but for me, this was one of my earliest Doctor Who stories. This is one of the first ones I ever watched, and right now, and the more Fifth Doctor episodes I get, the more I'm starting to like him, really. I'm starting to like his Doctor a lot more, because at one point he was my least favourite Doctor, but I'm starting to like him a bit more, you know. He's quite good. I like his style, and he's a little bit like David Tennant, honestly. But yeah, it's a good story. I enjoy this one. It doesn't drag for me. Next we have Horror of Fang Rock. Now this one is special to me because the book version is signed by Tom Baker himself, which is awesome, and the story is bleak. It's isolated on an island. It's just a great story. I won't go into detail. I'm not going to go into detail of any of these, so I don't want to spoil it, because this video is meant to be persuading you to watch these great stories, but this is a really good one. Then at the sixth spot, I believe, is Inferno. This one was expected to be on the top 10. It's a 7-part epic. It is the best Jon Pertwee story I have ever watched. It is really awesome. I love Jon Pertwee is a real James Bond style Doctor, and he's just really good. He's a really good Doctor. I really like him, and it's one of my first stories that I watched again. Then at the fifth spot we have The Curse of Fenric. I think you guys expected this to be on my list. Big fan of the Seventh Doctor. I love this story. It's so good. I just love the idea of Fenric. I love the character development between Ace and the Doctor, which you don't get with many classic companions. I mean, you get them with some, but not as many as the new series. I mean, it's a really good story, that one. At the fourth spot, this is a story which wasn't even in my honourable mentions when I last thought of my top 10, but after rethinking about it, that number 4 is Earthshock. I didn't realise I loved this story so much until I compared them to stories like Inferno or Curse of Fenric or Tomb of the Cybermen. But this is a really loved and amazing story, and I can see why. The exit of a companion, I won't say who. We hadn't seen the Cybermen since the early 70s, so this is a big reveal and all that. It's a great story. So enjoyable. I just always go back to that one. Third spot, this is expected on every top 10 ever, and this is Genesis of the Daleks. Yeah, it's not as awesome as people say it is, but it's still good. It's really good. And obviously, as you can see, it's signed by Tom Baker. Right there. This was one of my earliest stories, so really this is only here because of nostalgia for me. But I love this one. I do this. The Dalek could have had more screen time, but it's still a great story. It is. Now, since we only have 2 stories left in our top 10, let's move into the honourable mentions, which narrowly missed the top 10 list. The first honourable mention is the Space Museum. You guys will probably say this is like a guilty pleasure or something. This is, I don't know why, I just love this story. I just love the idea of the Space Museum and how they're trying to, how the Doctor and his companions are trying to, like, change their personal future and all that. I just like the idea of it. I don't know why. And who doesn't love the bit where William Hartnell climbs out of that Dalek casing? It's just hilarious. Who doesn't love that? It's just so hilarious. I just love that. It's such a laugh out loud moment. The next honourable mention is not an 8th Doctor story. This is a 6th Doctor story. Vengeance on Varos. Easily the best 6th Doctor story. It's really good. It was on my top 10 before, but narrowly got kicked off the list because of other stories being slightly better for me. But I love the idea of it. I love the idea of death being on national television. It's like Hunger Games all over again. This is the original idea. Every other idea has been stolen from this one. I feel it's a really good story. I really enjoy this one. And then the last honourable mention is the Sontaran Experiment signed by Donald Douglas. I got this signed by Donald Douglas because it is my first ever classic story, and it means a lot to me. This kicked off. This made me love the classic series of Doctor Who, because without this story, I wouldn't be making this video. Probably wouldn't have this channel. It's just great. This story's great. It's just the best 2-parter, the best Sontaran story. It's just amazing. The story's so good. Now, moving it to the number 2 spot, back into the top 10, we have Patrick Troughton story, a Cyberman story, and yeah, it is the Moonbase. You guys will probably say that this is a guilty pleasure of mine, but I say it's severely underrated. I love this one. This is very similar to Tomb of the Cybermen, but this is the perfect base under siege story for me. Perfect. On a moon base and everything. And there's not really any escape for them, is there? They just have to defeat the Cybermen, stand their ground. It's just amazing. There's a mystery to it. It's just such a good story. I just always watch this one when I'm bored. I always pick this one. I always reach for this one. Out of all the rest, I always go for this one. And my most favourite Doctor Who classic story of all time, it is Remembrance of the Daleks. This one was obvious, and it's signed by Sophie Aldred. And I'm actually no, I won't go into that, but I'm meeting some more cast members of classic Doctor Who, and I might get this signed by another person because I love this story so much. But I love this story. So this was another one of my first ever stories. So it's amazing. It's the best Dalek story. Plus the nostalgia it gives me. It's just so good. I just love it. This is my favourite Dalek design as well. This is just all around an amazing story, and I don't know why it wasn't number 1 in the DWM rankings I just don't understand. But it was at number 10, which is reasonable. But yeah, all the same, Day of the Doctor should be number 1. But I love this one, and honestly, that really concludes the video. Honestly, that finishes the top 10. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.